Interesting. Band. Alright, so. Okay, so there's an orientation. Trying to figure out the right way to get this camera angle. Alright, so 30 seconds into this, I'm gonna try to figure out how to do this camera angle. Where the hell is the camera angle? I don't even. Try to go like this. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so X-Men's coming to a live on Sunday morning, and I always do my cap. My NFL cap early in the morning, about 9 o'clock, and then tonight I'll do one another at 7 o'clock. Do the rundown of everything. Even, using the ESPN app is obviously the easiest way to do this. So, big win for the Philadelphia Eagles over the Washington Commanders. It was well deserved. I mean, Barkley ran hard. He did. Charles Barkley, or Charles Barkley. Saquon Barkley ran pretty good. And, it was a pretty good game. They have 2 minutes to start this video. I don't know if I can send this to IG Live. Let me see. Yeah, I'll send it to a couple people in there. Alright. It's hard to do it from that angle, man. Froze on me. The invitation's locked again. Hold on. Let me keep doing this for a second. I'm trying to figure out how to. There's an easier way to do this, man. Alright, so as I go live. Alright. So, sent it to 2 people I work with. Probably should have sent it to a couple other people, but they're probably not even up yet. So the breakdown of it all is simple. Best game on the schedule today is probably the first one I even see up here. Honestly, it's the 1 o'clocker, and that would be the Ravens of the Steelers. I mean, that is going to really be a good game. The Ravens are going up at -3.5, which is fair. It is fair. I mean, I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers are good, but are they better than the Ravens? I don't think they are, but I don't know. This year, it's a really open playing field. Remember, I said 12 wins for the Steelers this year. I have a video back when that I posted that was that. So, yeah, hold on. I gotta get this thing running. Hold on here, guys. I gotta really start to. I really need to have this video, like, really kind of just go to it. Alright. Man, this thing does not make it easy. No, I don't want. No, I don't. Hold on. I'm still doing this, and I will do it. Right, alright. I think this might be the better way to do it. Let's see. I'm still on here, guys. I'm just trying to, figure out. All right, so now we're back. All right, so I sent out a link so I could try to get somewhat of an algorithm here just to run down everything. So let's go Ravens Steelers. Ravens Steelers is the key game here. So the Ravens are 7-3. They're -3 going off on the books right now. The over is 48.5. That sounds about right. I mean, I would probably honestly, I don't know if Pittsburgh's ready for this kind of game. So I would probably run with the -3 with the Ravens. I would probably definitely take the Ravens. I think -3. I think that's the solid bet. I know that the Ravens tend to fall apart in games like this, but I think they're good enough to win this one, which would make them 8-3 on the season. They do it. Like I said, they have a couple losses now, so you're kind of looking at them like, are they really that great? I think they're okay for now. I mean, and as long as Henry stays healthy, they got a chance. They do. Then you go down to the next game, which is, the Jaguars and the Lions. Obviously, the line's going to be crazy on this. The Detroit Lions are a 14-point favorite against Jacksonville today. So, that sounds right. I mean, the Detroit Lions are what, you know, or 8-1, second best record in the NFL. Solid team. They are a good, solid team. I don't think, like I said before, I don't think Jared Goff is the answer. I think that's really what's going to bite them later on. It's just what it is. You have to have a guy at the helm that's going to be able to handle it in the playoffs, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that. But they are an 8-1 team, very talented team, very good team. They are better than the Eagles, even though the Eagle fans don't think so. No offense to that, but it's the truth. Right now, I would probably say that as a full team, the Lions are better. Um, so the 14, honestly though, I could see Jacksonville staying in that. I would probably take the Jags plus 14. Then you go down the list. You have the Rams and the Patriots. The Patriots have gotten a little hot. They won games that I didn't think they were going to win. Uh, but they exposed the Bears last week and just really took them apart. Um, you know they did. The Rams really like the Patriots. The Rams and the Patriots. The Patriots are at you know they're a 4.5 point underdog against the Rams. I'm not so sure that the Rams are going to win this game. I might honestly take the Patriots with the plus 4.5. I don't think that hurts to take them. I don't know why they're playing better now, but they are. I think maybe Herod Mayo has really got the Patriots starting to believe at least enough to kind of finish at 500. Um, and maybe Drake May hasn't played great. Not that good, Drake May, but the Patriots might be able to pull that out against the Rams. I wouldn't even be shocked if that happens. Um, but we'll see. 4-5 versus 3-7. It is what it is. Um, and then moving down the list is the Cleveland Browns and the New Orleans Saints. Cleveland Browns 2-7, Saints 3-7. Honestly, that's a game I don't even know if I would even touch personally. That's my take on it. Um, but going in the numbers, I mean, it's the line. It's 44 is the total points, and even line money. I'd probably take. It might not hurt to take the Cleveland Browns kind of in a short margin there. But who knows? Both teams pretty much have fell apart this year. The Cleveland Browns really fell apart. They just, Deshaun Watson ruined them that contract. It's going to hurt the Browns for a long time, and they're going to be probably bad for a couple years because they have no first round draft picks because of this guy. But the Saints, they just fell apart. And I think that's going to all get broken up after this year, and they're going to have to draft a quarterback. I hate to say it, I like Carr, but I think his days in New Orleans are probably numbered. Unless they can make a run. but they were 2-0, and now they went 1-7 the rest that way. That's pretty horrible. That's and you lost to the Panthers in that stretch, so not really voting well for the Saints right now. The Indianapolis Colts at the Jets. Now, surprisingly enough, I love the hell ESPN always puts the Jets as the favorite in every game. Aaron Rodgers has not made the Jets better. He hasn't. He's an old man that's ready to retire. He'll probably go for another 2 years, and the Jets will waste more time and money and effort and seasons thinking that he's good enough to lead that team to anywhere, not even to the playoffs. And I keep saying this, he's not going to do it. And nobody was listening, and he's still doing it that way. The Indianapolis Colts, honestly, I would probably take the Colts plus 3.5, just for spite reasons. The Jets as an organization, thinking that Rodgers is that good is just not to me the answer. And the thing is Rodgers has no excuses. He has Brees Hall, he has Garrett Wilson, he has guys. So how does it not happen? You know. And then moving down the line, and this is a little bit of shock, and honestly, I think this is a trick game too. Is the Vikings at the Titans? The Vikings and the Titans, -6 for Minnesota. I mean, I could look at it kind of like that. I would probably say that the Minnesota Vikings at -6. I honestly would take the Colts, or not the Colts, the Titans +6 in that too. I really just don't believe it. The line of 39. That's probably take the under. Maybe Justin Jefferson for an anytime touchdown sounds good. But you know, I'm not really foreseeing that either. And the Vikings at 7-2 are fraudulent 7-2. I think they will be the first team eliminated from the playoffs, and that's just my take on it. Um, I don't think they're good. You can't. I can't see you winning in the playoffs with Sam Darnold as your quarterback. I don't see it that way. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see it that way. Then you go down to another 1 o'clock game. The Raiders. Oh, here we go. The Raiders and the Dolphins. Miami 7.5. It's tricky. Like I think the Dolphins are going to win this game, and then that would make them 4-6, and then people might have some ideas of them. But I would honestly say you might want to take the Raiders plus 7.5. And the only reason I say this is because I feel like the Dolphins can't really break away against teams, regardless of who they are, because they offensively can never get it done, and Tua hasn't got it done either. Although they played better, they're still not that great. But the Raiders obviously will not win. I mean, Mark Davis has ruined that franchise. But maybe the Raiders plus 7.5 might sound good. That's a maybe though. That's a big maybe. I'm not positive about that at all. Moving forward down the list, the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears 5.5. Probably the easiest Packers 5.5 you could take. Caleb Williams has already proven that he's not what he is. Drake May exposed him last week. That's crazy. Drake May exposed him. It is. All that talk about how Caleb Williams was going to change the Bears. He's got DJ Moore. He's got receivers. He has a team there, and he can't get it done. Just like proven every time. His mouth was bigger than his ego. And now look at where they're at 4-5. They're not good now. And they started pretty hot, and they won a couple close games, and they lost a couple close games. And that's where they're at right now. But the Green Bay Packers at 6-3, I honestly think that's a roll job. I really believe they'll win by 5.5. So that's will be my take on that one. Moving forward down the line, now we're at the 4 o'clockers. So we got the Falcons and the Broncos. Denver -2, the fair bet. Kirk Cousins can't win. He can't beat winning teams. They're 500. But at the same time, the Atlanta Falcons, for what they have around them, they brought him there and they gave him that big money. They gave him that $50 million contract, and he's an average quarterback. and they're really an average team. They are 6-4, probably a playoff team. I think they'll make it in as a wild card, maybe a 5 or 6 seed. That could possibly happen. I think they're going to win games. You know, but as far as like being elite, they're not. But I would just say probably take Denver with -2. I would probably take them just on the money line just to play safe. But yeah, the Denver Broncos. That might be actually the bet overtime in that game. I wouldn't be shocked if that went to overtime in Denver. But yeah, that's what you're looking at. I mean, the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix, even though he's a 30-year-old rookie, he's played pretty well. But then you go down the list, you got the 49ers and the Seahawks. This is tricky now because now San Francisco is at 5-4. They're starting to kind of roll. Debo can say whatever he wants. He's a clown. No one cares about him. He can sit the rest of the year. The 49ers still have enough talent around them to make a push right now. At 5-4, they could probably maybe run the table, possibly get in as they could get in as a 6 seed. And they'd probably be a very dangerous 6 seed, honestly. But they might run the table and get a bit higher than that. Who knows? Someone like Atlanta might fall down. We'll see. San Francisco -6. I would honestly say that's a fair bet. San Francisco could win by 6. That's what I would probably take. San Francisco -6. Next up on the list, the tricky game. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills at home at 8-2 against the 9-0 Chiefs. The 9-0 fraudulent Chiefs. And I'll say this with conviction that the Chiefs, they're not very. No, I mean, the -2, it's very tricky. This is a game where you probably have to pick the money line. You probably have to take the money line and run with the money line on this. I am probably going to take the Bills money line on this game in particular because I feel like they should be able to win it, but I don't know. I mean, the Chiefs have the refs' hands pockets right now. They are the Kansas City refs. At 9-0, they are the most fraudulent 9-0 team I've ever seen. The line's 46. I'd probably go on the over on that too. Buffalo Bills, we'll see. I mean, Josh Allen's just got to play. He has to play lights out today, I think. This is his push to make the MVP today, I think. This is the one where I think he's got to get like 300 yards, 350, and really, really stick it to the Chiefs and put it in them. And just hopefully they won't have the refs like sitting there making horrible calls for the Chiefs like they do in every game, it seems like. So maybe Buffalo Bills money line. And then your 8 o'clock game, which isn't really that bad, I guess. Bengals at the Chargers. I mean, it's not a bad game to watch. And the line's the Chargers -1. Chargers are 6-3, surprisingly, with Herbert in there. That's possible. So that's kind of like where I would be like sitting at. And honestly, I'm gonna say this with like right now. I think that the Cincinnati Bengals +1 and maybe the over in that game tonight might happen. That's a possibility, but we'll see where it's at. And that's pretty much the recap. I mean, like I said, the best game of the day is probably Ravens Steelers, and then the late game is pretty good too. Would be the Chiefs. It should be Chiefs Bills. The only thing that I don't want to see happen is Patrick Mahomes go over and run over to the ref and make sure they make the call for the Chiefs, and we'll see what happens with that. That's the one thing that I really don't understand with any of that. But anyway, that's my recap. That's where I'm at. I hope everybody liked this. I'm going to eventually figure out how to do the subscribe button. I'm going to try to do this every Sunday morning and Sunday evening. NFL cap, NFL look at it, just looking at it and give my opinions on it. Hopefully people start watching a little bit more, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to get off. X-Men out.